Hello, yes, is that the Roma Medical Department? Yeah. Just wondering, what on earth is going on? Yes, hello, welcome into Livestreams Sports here for another episode of Glory Hunter on Football Manager 22. If you missed the last episode, go and check it out. It was a pretty good one. I know I say that all the time, but it was a good one, so go and check it out. We're playing in the Italian Cup up against Inter Milan, and we played against Juventus. Two big games. So if you have missed it, go and check out before you watch this one. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button for more daily Football Manager content, Monday to Friday, with Glory Hunter here at 11 AM. As you can see from the screen in front of you, we have a few injuries. Hence I was having a little phone call with our medical department. Talisa's been injured for a while. We know he's still out for the rest of the season. But the rest of our midfield just fell with injuries. Camavinga's been out for 2 weeks with the flu. Veretout got himself injured in training and he's out for the next 2 weeks. And Pellegrini got himself injured in the game against Cagliari and he's out for the next 5 weeks. So we're struggling in central midfield, especially seeing this for this game, which we're playing in the Europa League. Danny Ceballos isn't registered for the Europa League. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 central midfield players can't play, which, as you can imagine, is making us a little bit short in that central midfield department. But we'll get onto that in a minute. It turns out it's only a one-legged affair at this stage in the Europa League, and from the quarterfinals it becomes 2 legs. I thought today was going to be our first leg. Turns out today is the actual game. So we have to make sure and win that one. But since we last met, we lost to Inter in extra time with that last minute goal from Duvan Zapata in the Italian Cup quarter-final. We did beat Juventus 2-1 thanks to 2 goals from Tammy. We continued on with some good form in SerieA. 1-0 win against Cagliari. Cole Palmer getting the goal there. A 4-1 win over Lazio in the Rome derby. It was a good performance, that one. Goals for Tammy, 2 from Zaniolo, 1 from Cole Palmer. Then we beat Spezia, 3-1 with a slightly rotated side in that one. Sesko, Thielman and Palmer getting the goals. And means today we play up against Braga in the Europa League second knockout round, and then Fiorentina, who are currently in 10th. We play them in SerieA. Two games that could be tricky for us, but 2 we should be hoping to win. Obviously, we'll play our game against Fiorentina in SerieA in the second game of the episode, but you can see from the league table, we're 11 points behind Inter Milan at the moment, level on points for Juventus. It looks like first place is too far away. There's still 13 games to go, but 11 points behind with 13 games to go is a big gap to try and close. We'll see if we can do it, though. But if fancy, we're probably going to be in the Champions League places, because Lazio are 10 points behind us in 5th. So hopefully top 4 is confirmed. Now we've got to try and see how far into that top 4 we can get. But first of all, Europa League. We'll see if we can win the Europa League this year. That'd be good to add that trophy to our collection early on here in Glory Hunter. Let's see if we can do it. So I mentioned obviously we had a lot of injuries and we have some players unregistered. So basically this team that we've selected in the 7 substitutes are the only players who are fit and registered to play in the game. And as you can see from the bench, it's mainly defenders. There are 5 defenders sat on the bench, 1 striker and a goalkeeper, because, as I mentioned, we have a bit of a midfield injury crisis. Patricia's going to play in goal. Zagadou, Gijo and Romagnoli at the back. Odriozola and Christensen in the wing-back positions. That's probably fairly full strength. Midfield then is a bit interesting. Cristante's going to play, which is fine, but Zaniolo's going to move from his winger position to move to play alongside him in a box-to-box role. Coutinho will cover on the left, Palmer will play on the right, and Abraham up front. Really, you could say Coutinho and Palmer could be one of our first-choice options in the wide areas, but it's Zaniolo dropping into that box-to-box role, which is a little bit of something different. And also, we don't have anyone to replace them should anyone get injured. So, no more injuries for any midfielders, please. I don't know if I've mentioned it or not, but we're playing against Braga today from Portugal. I can't remember if I said it or not, so I apologise if I did. Here we go, early on, 27 minutes in. This is the first highlight. Zaniolo down the left, swings the ball in toward the back post. It's a poor missed interception. Cristante into Palmer is blocked. Christensen with it on the left-hand side now. Will he put this ball in? He does, to the back post. Palmer heads that in. His 14th goal of the season. What a signing he's been since he's arrived on loan from Man City. Scoring goals, assisting goals. I'm not sure if we'll pay the £40-odd million that we've agreed as an optional future fee, but he's certainly been very useful this year. Christensen with a lovely ball in, our new left back. Palmer heads that in past the keeper, and we lead 1-0 after half an hour. Throw in on the right for Braga here into Medeiros, and Tormena swings the ball into the box, and Patricio just plucks that out of the air. Beautiful from him. And he rolls us out to Gijo, and we'll recycle the play, and we'll see if we can go and get a chance of our own. Forward, Odriozola on the right-hand side, gets past his man. Now he has another one to try and get by. Plays it back to Cristante, and Palmer comes in field. Forward for Tammy, can he score? Oh, he should have, but he didn't. And we still just lead 1-0 as we get to half-time here. Remember, this is a one-legged affair, so all we have to do is win this one. Doesn't matter, you know, if away goals or anything like that. I think away goals are out of European competition anyway, aren't they? So there's nothing like that happening. It's just a one match we've got to win. And the ball's through to Abraham here, and that's just over the bar early in this second half. Braga have only had one shot. We've kind of dominated the proceedings in terms of that. They've had a lot of the ball, but we have had most of the shots. And here's another highlight. Zagadou flicks that back to Patricio. A bit strange, but we'll take it. And Romagnoli receives it now. And Zaniolo finds Coutinho out on that left-hand side for Tatami, who's in behind the defenders now. He plays it to Christensen, who plays it back into Coutinho, and the ball into Palmer at the back post, and Palmer's got his second goal. 2 goals for Palmer today, both assisted from that left-hand side. Christensen and then Coutinho. And it's 2-0 here. Lovely football on that left-hand side. Christensen plays the ball to Coutinho. Some space for him to turn into Palmer, and he rises above the defender and gets his second goal of the day, and that surely wins this game. Braga have showed nothing. Corner kick. Zaniolo swings it into the front post, and it's cleared away. And Leonardo Gomez is going to break away, and it's 2-on-2 here as he advances down the right hand side, puts it forward toward Ruiz, and they scored a goal. And just as I said, we're going to win this game because they haven't shown anything. Braga start showing something. It's poor defending from us, really. And 20 minutes to go, and we're still leading 2-1. Hopefully, I've not cursed it by saying that. We'll bring on Spinazzola for Coutinho further forward on that left hand side. There's a free kick here. Zaniolo swings the ball in. It's cleared away. Only as far as Abraham, though. Back to Zaniolo, who comes in field. Back to Cristante. And Zaniolo. And Gijo. And it's headed over the bar. Sesko has come on for Abraham up front for the last 5 minutes here. But there's a highlight for Braga. Pablo with it. Back to Carmo. Carmo back out to Pablo. And he launches the ball in behind our defence. And Abel Ruiz is through. And he scored. And they're checking for offside. The assistant hasn't moved, which normally suggests he was offside. VAR are checking. Indeed, it has been disallowed. See, I know the game too well now. I've played it for too long. Always keep an eye on that assistant referee, because normally they don't go against his decision. He stayed and said they were offside, and indeed he was. There's 4 minutes added time, which is ticking away at the moment, and we're going to hold on to this 2-1 victory, and we've progressed to the quarter-finals of the Europa League. There's a chance for our first piece of silverware still in this Europa League. And we'll see who we draw in the next round. It's a 2-legged affair from the quarterfinals, so that'll be the next episode, the first leg of that. A fairly decent performance. When you look at the stats, we didn't have a lot of the ball, but we had most of the shots, most of the expected goals. You know, we had every corner in the game was ours. I'd say, apart from actually having the ball, we dominated that game. So a good performance, preparing ourselves for the game against Fiorentina. Hopefully Camavinga's back from the flu by then, and we can get him in the midfield alongside Cristante. But Zaniolo did not bad playing central midfield today, actually. But hopefully for the Fiorentina game, we can have actual central midfielders in that. We'll advance to that, and if we have the draw for the next round of the Europa League, we'll show you that as well. Other teams to progress through. Valencia beat Sassuolo. Sporting Lisbon beat Feyenoord. Club Brugge beat Leicester. That's a surprise. Tottenham beat Spartak Moscow. AC Milan beat Rennes. Man United are here with us in the Europa League. That could be a tough one. They scrape through against Borussia Mönchengladbach. And Benfica beat our house in the middle of our street from Denmark. The draw for the quarter and semi-finals is on the 10th, Friday the 10th. And we play this game on this weekend here against Fiorentina. So the last bit of the episode, once they've played Fiorentina, we'll advance on and we'll see the draw, and we'll finish this episode by looking at the draw for the Europa League quarterfinals and semi-finals. We play on the Monday night, but here on the Saturday, Inter play away to Spezia. So it'll be interesting to see what the result is of this one. If they drop points, obviously we're going to be closing up. Spezia, a team they shouldn't be dropping points to, but there's a chance they might, because we dropped points to Spezia earlier this season. And if they do drop points, there's a chance for us to close that gap. And indeed they have. A little bit of something inside me thought they would drop points there, and indeed they did. They drew 1-1 away to Spezia, which means if we win our game in hand, we close the gap down to 9 points. I know it's still a big gap, but it's closer than 11. So here we are, ready for the game up against Fiorentina. Romagnoli has picked up a cold since our last game, so he's not going to be playing today. But Camavinga is back from the flu, so he gets to come and play in midfield as well today. So there's a couple of changes from the last one. Patricia's going to stay in goal. Zagadou, Gijo and Kumbula are going to be at the back because of Romagnoli's cold. Christensen's going to play left back and Tavares is going to play at right back. Odriozola had, it's just behind my head there, I'll scroll up, had a really bad game last time out. It was what, 6.4 or something like that. It really wasn't good, to 6.3. So he's not going to play. And Lazaro's not played great either on that right-hand side. So I'll play Tavares. He's our third choice option at the right back. Probably our fourth choice if you include Desquiglio. So we'll try Tavares out there. He's not really played for us. So let's see how he does today. Cristante's going to partner Camavinga in midfield. Palmer's still out on the right. Zaniolo's going to move from central midfield to play on the left-hand side, which means Coutinho drops to the bench. And Tammy Abraham is going to play up front. Tammy needs to watch himself. He scored 40 goals last year, but this season he's only scored 16. And Cole Palmer, who's our right winger at the moment, has scored 15. He's nearly going to be score more goals than Abraham. So Fiorentina are very much a mid-table side. They're currently in 10th position. So we will hope a comfortable win for us today. Juventus did win their game yesterday, which means they are now 3 points ahead before we go into this. So if we want to keep up with Juventus, we need to win. And also, if we don't win, then the drop points from Inter are kind of wasted almost. Red card. There you go. For Eric Pulgar there. 17 minutes in from Fiorentina, which means surely we can win this game, you'd hope. 35 minutes in, and there's not actually been a highlight since that red card. 70% of the ball for Fiorentina, which is worrying since they're down to 10 men. You'd have thought we'd have dominated possession, but maybe not. Christensen finds Kumbula now. It's going to go back to Christensen. Indeed it is. And he'll drive down the left-hand side. No, he finds Camavinga and Cristante, and it's through to Tammy. Can he finish? It's dragged it wide of the goal. And we are still 0-0 here against a 10-man Fiorentina. Christensen swings the ball in, and it goes to Palmer here. There's another highlight. Cristante just before half-time. Can we get ahead? Abraham, and it's cleared away. Goodness me, what a chance. And we've reached half-time, and I think we're going to change something up here because we should not be struggling as much as we are. We're going to take off one of our centre-backs, Kumbula, and we'll move him to play up front, and we'll play two up top. I think that sounds like that would work well. Who will we play alongside Tammy, though? We'll play Sesko, and you can play him as an advance forward on attack. And let's see if we can do better in this second half. We're going to change our passing tempo and passing directness, play slightly shorter balls, and we'll play a slightly lower tempo just to try and get more of the ball. You can see we only have 30% of the ball, so we're going to try and get some more of it and then put it to our centre forwards and try and score those goals. Abraham looking a bit tired, so we'll bring a Thielman on for him. And the change in tactics has not worked, so we're going to play more direct with a higher tempo. We're not going to play out of defence or work it into the box. We're going to focus the play down the wings and we'll be slightly wider. And here we go. A highlight finally in this second half. Zagadou comes forward with it, launches it forward. Thielman's in behind the defence. He's got to finish. It's a good save from Drakowski. We're not going to win this game, are we? I can feel it. There's 20 minutes to go and I don't think we're going to do it. We've just had none of the ball, which is crazy since they're down to 10 men. Zaniolo struggling out there. We'll bring on Coutinho for him. And there's 15 minutes to go now. We're going to demand more. We'll go from an attacking mentality down to a positive one. Maybe we're going to attacking. There's 5 minutes to go here and the time is ticking away and I don't know what else to do. I've put players forward. We've went more direct and we're going to draw 0-0 against a 10-man Fiorentina. Oh, dearie me. That's just absolutely rubbish. No one played well. Look at that. That's shocking. It really is. And I'm going to throw a water bottle. and say you don't deserve a day off. Get into training. Ugh. What a waste. What a waste. Inter Milan drop points against Spezia and we draw against a 10-man Fiorentina. Oh, that's so frustrating. Well, I think it would be safe to say that SerieA is probably not on the cards this season. You can see that already at the start of March. However, one competition that still is on the cards is the Europa League. So we'll put on an automatic draw and we'll see who we draw out. Some tough games in here and we'll see if we can avoid one of those. With the first name out the hat, and we draw against Sporting, which is probably one of the kinder options. Tottenham we didn't want to play. Club Brugge we would have happily played. Valencia would be tough. Man United's probably the hardest game. And then Benfica and AC Milan are tough games as well. Looking at who we'd want in the semi-finals, because the semi-finals drawn here as well. If we could avoid the Tottenham or Man United, that would be appreciated. I would take Milan, Benfica, the two the two Portuguese and Italian ties. Benfica play Milan and us playing Roma. If the two of those played each other in the semi-finals, that would be appreciated, I think. If we could avoid those English teams, I would like that. This stage, the semi-final draw, Valencia Man United against Benfica or Milan, which means we play the winner of Tottenham or Bruges. Probably my second option. I would like to just avoid Man United, I think. So we play against Sporting Lisbon, two-legged affair, and then we play against the winner of Tottenham or Club Brugge, who you imagine would be Tottenham. You would imagine. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on Club Brugge, but you'd imagine it would be Tottenham should we get through against Sporting Lisbon. And you can see the game against Sporting Lisbon appears down here on the 6th and 13th of April, which actually moves. We had a game against Inter that week, so the game against Inter has been moved into May now. So that's going to be the next two episodes. We'll play against Sassuolo and Sporting in the Serie A and the Europa League, and then we'll play against Brescia and Sporting in the episode after that. Really, we want to get through in the Europa League if we can. Serie A is almost over. I don't know if we're going to win Serie A this year. We'll probably get Champions League football, but I don't think we're going to win it. But one competition we could win, certainly, is the Europa League, and hopefully we can move towards that with a good win in the first leg against Sporting Lisbon in the next episode. So if you have enjoyed this episode, a nice 2-1 victory over Braga and then a disappointing 0-0 draw against a 10-man Fiorentina, please do leave a like on the video. It really does help us out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until the next one, when we play in the Europa League quarter-final against Sporting, we'll see you then.